Let's take a look at some of the features of ProImport AE version 5.0. Here I have a 30-second sequence in Final Cut Pro that is fairly complicated. It has several video tracks, has third-party filters applied to some of the layers. Here I have the Colorista color correction plugin. There's speed changes. There are also some composite modes, like overlay and screen applied in various places. To get this into After Effects is very easy using ProImport AE. First, we export from Final Cut Pro an XML file, and so I'm just going to export this to my desktop. It's a very fast export. Now I can switch into After Effects where ProImport AE is used to import that XML file and create the sequence inside of After Effects. So let's go ahead and choose the XML file. I have lots of various settings that I can choose. I'm just going to leave it in its default for now. And then when it's finished, I will be left with a composition inside of After Effects that I can open up and begin picking up where I left off. So here we are in After Effects. Now I've got the timeline here. I can scrub through or click through here. You'll see that all my layers are there. I can even select a layer and see that the Colorista settings that I had inside of Final Cut Pro have been translated into After Effects. You have access to your entire media file, so you can slip and slide. And I also had brought your attention to the composite modes. Layers that had composite modes in Final Cut Pro have that same blending mode applied in After Effects. So let's take a look next at how you can bring in an Avid sequence into After Effects. Here I have the same timeline inside of an Avid. No third-party effects in this case. I just have everything colorized as I want it from tape, and I have picture-in-picture effects and superimpose effects and speed changes. To export out of the Avid, we make an AAF file. Now an AAF file is, like an OMF file, like an EDL, like an XML. It's like a super edit decision list. It contains all the information about the sequence. Avids don't do XML like Final Cut does, so AAF is the file that you use to get out of the Avid. ProImport AE, however, can read AAF files just as well as it can read XML files. So I'll choose our plugin from the Import submenu and then go to my desktop and select that AAF file, click Open, and the plugin creates QuickTime reference movies to the Avid OMF media files. If the Avid had MXF media, it would work the same way. The plugin creates these QuickTime reference movies, brings everything into After Effects, and rebuilds the timeline. And so now that it's finished, I just open up the comp, and here it is, the Avid version. Now it turns out that in this case, the Avid media has much shorter handles than my Final Cut media did, so I have less to slip and slide with. But it is still possible to slip and slide using the footage inside you had from an Avid, because you get your entire media file. In this case, you can see that the masking and feathering got translated, the opacity keyframes, all the dissolves got turned into opacity keyframes, as well as there were some other opacity changes. Speed changes came across, flips and flops. So it's a very good way to get a sequence from your Avid editing system into After Effects as well. Lastly, I'll show you taking a motion project file into After Effects using ProImport AE. Here I have a sequence that has a particle system, has some text animation, as well as a replicator of some background element, as well as these video clips of cows. You don't have to export anything from a motion project in order to bring it into After Effects using ProImport AE. Our plugin actually just reads the motion project file. I'll go ahead and save a copy of this to my desktop just so that I don't disturb the original. And now I'll switch into After Effects, and ProImport AE is able to import .motn files just as well as it can bring in AAF files and XML files and OMF files. So I'll select that copy I just put on my desktop, and the plugin is able to now translate that motion project file into After Effects and brings in all the separate layers from motion as separate layers into After Effects. One of the things that's pretty cool is things such as replicators and particles that our plugin is not able to translate into something equivalent in After Effects. They maintain their visual look, so I'm going to go ahead and turn off the 3 video layers and just do a quick RAM preview. The replicators and particle systems are turned into these little mini motion project files that QuickTime is able to play back, and so therefore After Effects is able to play back. So you can't edit them, you can't take the particle system from motion and turn it into some sort of third-party or even built-in After Effects particle system, but you get the visual look of it, and everything is a separate layer, so you can still composite things separately. So you get the same look that you had inside of motion, inside of After Effects, the same animation, and everything is on a separate layer. So I can go ahead and turn these cow layers back on, and you can see the rotation animates of the cow layers. I've got the replicator layer, and I got the particle system layer, and they are all separate elements so that you can control their composite inside of After Effects. So it's a good way to take a project from motion, sort of build it there where everything's nice in real time, and then take it into After Effects for some good finesse compositing. So that's a look at Pro Import AE and After Effects CS5 here. Remember, the plugin works in After Effects CS3, CS4, or CS5. If you have any questions, please do let us know. Thank you.